Hi everyone, and let's continue reading Mahoyo. And we're starting right from where we left off the previous time, which is right after Soujuurou met Aoko and they parted away for the day. And I assume that it's one of Soujuurou's part-time job. Interesting, like, is my guy good at cooking? Is that it? But anyway, let's not waste any more time and jump straight to the reading. And it was grease in the heat. The kitchen was closed for the time being, and that's quite a fitting description, because working in the kitchen is rough, like, really rough. The lunch rush had come and gone, but one last battle remained, dinner time. Only after the evening chaos could the kitchen crew remove their white armor and call it a day. It's a battle. It's a battle for the survival. Not just any other battle. In the midst of the war zone was a lone newcomer.
これ着るんですか?
Okay, so my guess was right on the money line. And it's his part-time job. Do I have to wear this? His voice was uneasy, betraying how new he was.
気持ちはわかる。俺
I
もど
know
う
how
か
you
と思
feel,
うけど、
man. I
店
feel
長
the
の言う
same.
ことだから、もう笑顔で乗り越えてくれ。
Fortunately, it's the boss orders.
これも商店街の明日のため。
So you'll
な
have
ん
to
だと
suck
よ。
it up, okay? The future of this shopping
気
arcade
で
is
申し訳ないんだが、雨も止んだし、なんとか行ってきてくれないか?
I hate to
無
ask,
事帰ってきたら晩飯おごって
it
やっ
has
から。
stopped, so would you mind going out for me? Wait. wait, like, this Soja is gonna be a mascot for the place, or what? That's what I'm getting from this. But the end has stopped, so do you mind going out for me? My guy can't stop getting the shorter end of the stick. Like, really can't catch a break. Get back in one piece, and that's the keyword. Okay. And I will buy you a dinner. His bright orange coworker clasped his hands together as if to beg for forgiveness as he saddled him with this unreasonable task. 20 years ago, Misaki City was a town of farm and woodland. I like how Mahoyo literally flexes in your face of this, like, look, we have amazing shots here and there, like, not just here and there, like, all the time. But everything has changed. The front of the station was now lined with 12 multi-story buildings, and the residential areas were superbly full of apartment complexes. The once rustic scenery around the station had long become a thing of the past, and that's just the Halloween city for you. And you really can't change a thing about it, just how it is. Shouryuu Nozuka was the only place in the city that still contained vestiges of the old town. Is it the part of the city that on the mountain, basically where Aoko lives? So it's probably called Shouryuu Nozuka. A pocket of the past inside an urban jungle. The road extended up a conspicuously high hill to an old residential district far from the hustle and bustle of the train station. But maybe it doesn't have any hustle and bustle there, but like It's total pain in the ass to get anywhere from that mountain hill. Long ago, it had been considered unwise to build on a high ground, so nobody lived above a certain elevation, and I'm not even gonna talk about what if the landslide is gonna happen. Yeah, let's just not talk about it. It's a scary prospect. Shouryuu Nozuka, sitting at the top of a hill in the middle of a town, was no exception to that convention and had no residences to speak of. The asphalt continued for some time, eventually giving way to a mountain road that was swallowed into the cover of trees. Wait, are we reading from Aoko's poem now? Like, a long vending machine stood to mark the boundary between town and beyond. When the Shouryuu knew that there was nothing beyond the new playground in development that saw in front of them. Well, that was not entirely true. Because we have a whole damn mansion there. With just 2 residents. And we haven't even seen the second one yet. There was nothing besides the haunted house. Right, it's the haunted house. You got me there. Okay, Zaki traversed the long slope. Below her, she could see the whole of Misaki. The symmetrical town looked like a miniature set from this height. It looked like a painting if there had been a scene next to it. It's literally my thumbnail for the first episode, but I got a bit better shot there. I see next to it, but although it's debatable. Maybe this one is better. Fortunately, Misaki City was very much landlocked. Well, it was overcast. That one is also good. Well, it was overcast at the mountain. Oh, my bad. Well, it was overcast at the moment. The scene was quite a breathtaking on clear evenings. The view was the one thing that made the arduous climb worthwhile, and today she had been denied even that. I would cycle home if it wasn't for the same. When the bus route would be a fine thing. Aria had been using this road to get to school for almost 2 years now, but the journey had never gotten easier. Oh, it's locked? I guess Alice isn't back yet. I want to call you Alice, so like... I think I'm just gonna call her Alice, so like... So, get used to that. It just sounds much cooler than Alice. At least to me. With a very shark, she put her hand on the rusty iron fence. Quietly, the heavy gate swung open as if to welcome her home. There sits atop that hill haunted house. That's such a fancy gate to have for just 2 people. God damn it. That is how the story much shared around town used to begin. But fresh rumors about the house had spun to life almost as fast as the town's modernization. Despite being dilapidated and abandoned for many years, lights can be seen inside the house at night. Okay, it's a ghost. Here it's confirmed. In the angry murder of a crows, often gathers atop the hill before mysteriously vanishing. Should I get lost in the fog, never to be seen again? Late at night, a shaking sound can be heard all the way to a town. This particular piece of slander was the one Aoko wished to discredit the most. What's up with that one? Are there some beasts that are lurking around in the forest? To me, it looks like a forest. The fun rumor was of an eye-catching luxury car that sometimes made its way up and down the hill. The rumor spread and grew by the day. Is it the very same car we had them talking about in the flashback? Is it the one or it's a different one? The rumors spread and grew by the day. And while they grew, the house that everyone thought had rotted away was restored over the recent years. Deep in the water on top of a hill, no one dared to approach. Like a ruin, shrouded from view even on the brightest of days. So the relic of out of a time, a building from a fairy tale. When they're showing your mansion from this angle, it really looks like a haunted house. I mean, if hi, bro, like, I think if you're enjoying the Bloodborne, like, it's completely fine, like, just enjoy the game, like, you don't have to force yourself to eat, like, if you're just in the mood to have fun with the game. The house. What's the Kuonji mansion? Everyone in town knew about the witch's house on the hill. Also, I watched a couple of more episodes for this story. That's the only pick we have, like, even if it's 20 FPS. You can think of it from such angle that in the past people were buying the entire console and the game to just getting through the game in a 30 FPS. And now we can play it like a kings with with the emulator, even if it's probably not gonna run as smoothly as on the consoles, at least for a while. Everyone in town knew about the witch house on the hill. I'm glad that there are the emulators, like, because if we didn't have emulators for the older consoles, it would be total mess. Like, there would be no way to play the games. I mean, the consoles are breaking and the disc and the stuff is getting more expensive and more expensive as the time goes on. So it really is not convenient. Yeah, I told you, it's it's a freaking YouTube, like, just pulling the lag on me. Because I literally don't have a delay on OBS. It's really just YouTube. It was an unabashedly haunted house where Aoko and Misaki resided, for the reason known only to her. Needless to say, it was not really haunted, but I'm glad that it got better for you. I mean, with the delay. The Kuonji family home was a grand Western-style mansion with a long and storied history, stretching all the way back to England. It's it's really freaking good, like the house. I mean, like it even fits the description they're talking about. Like it's with all these trees. I can really think of it as a haunted house if I didn't know any better. It was too small to be a dormitory, yet too big to be called a house. The main building contained as many as 3 normal houses worth of rooms and was surrounded by a large, all-encompassing courtyard. The perimeter of the grounds was surrounded by a high iron fence covered in thorny vines. There was also an annex to the main building. Given such extravagance, it was no wonder that it inspired rumors. To the town residents, the mere existence of such a lavish and out-of-a-place mansion on top of the hill was a cause for suspicion. Rumors, lies, and slander were the prices to be paid for fame. It's only to lodgers, it was hard to disagree with the perception that vampires must be living here. I wonder if gonna bump into any vampires in the Mahoyo. That the thing in Tsukihime, but I'm not sure if here they are the thing like.
ま、私はともかく、アリスはそういうのやりかねないし。
But wait, it's really the same the universe, but okay, there are gonna be a similar stuff later. Alright, like I'm gonna keep it in mind. Well, I know I'm not one, but Ariso. I don't know, I just want to call her Ariso. Wait, it's a different voice, like. Does she have a different voice actor in the HD version, like? Oh, what I am. She put her hand on the front door. I mean, it's still the early part. And she's kinda pissed off from her meeting with Soujuurou. So I think it kinda makes sense that she sounds cold. Yeah. It was a grand double door that would have paired well with a brass lock, and yet it was secured with little more than a simple keyhole. Pushing it open with one hand, she entered the supposedly haunted house. And by the way, vampires were not enough to scare you, ghosts were known to appear on certain nights. Much like the weather outside, man, I love I love the backgrounds. This is so freaking good. Much like the weather outside, the foyer was overcast with the shades of a gray. Perhaps by a deliberate design, the architect had chosen not to include any lights in the entrance area. But he was smoking. It's not putting any lights in the entrance area. Like, come on. How are you supposed to get by? The ceiling was 2 floors high. The only light in the room came from the skylight. It was particularly gloomy on rainy days. On the moonless nights, it was like the world itself ceased to be. Aoko decided to draw in a room to the east would be a good place to rest, but it's similar to Hyoka. So by the time I get to Hyoka, I should be expecting something similar to Mahoyo in regards to the vibe of the solo. Pretty interesting, like I didn't thought of such a connection before between those two. But knowing that she would not be able to relax until she changed the clothes, she started up the stairs. Maybe it's because I assume the main dude is perhaps is like Soujuurou in a way, isn't it? Well, I wouldn't say that Aoko is extremely mean per se. Well, she's kinda mean, but more than I thought she would be, but at least it's kind of funny to watch her filming, no? Especially around Soujuurou. The stairs secured up at the wall to the second floor hall. There was a third floor, attic as well, accessible from the far end of the hall. She had never set foot there in the 2 years she had lived here, though. So we have some mysterious attic on the 3rd floor. If she wasn't as pretty as she is, you would just bash on her relentlessly, aren't you? It would be trash waifu. But yeah, unlike Katsu's, Aoko has a really good design, I would give you that. Like, it and her face is really hilarious to look at. The Kuonji mansion was more or less divided into wings. East and the west. Aoko had been given the entire east wing, but the 2 rooms were more than enough as far as she was concerned. I mentioned Kazusa because personally I also don't understand why people are simping for Kazusa so hard. Like, I really don't get it. She's nothing special, to be honest. But there are so many people that made her out to be like the shining beauty that I just had to mention her as the point of comparison. But in my opinion, Setsuna is by far the most beautiful girl in White Album. At least she is reasonable. Kinda, like. For what I seen so far. Aoko had been given the entire east wing, but the 2 rooms were more than enough as far as she was concerned. She had no desire to open a door that would trap you in a storybook, or to lead to an attic that had only been used for storage this last 5 years. Sudatica might be not some mysterious place that gonna have some artifact. Just a story show. Good job. Aoko was at the end of the East Wings on corridor. She had elected for a small room for no other reason other than that she thought it would be easier to clean. It was furnished with a large bed. Are we gonna see Aoko play the guitar later? It's a guitar, right? Like, her beloved mahogany desk, a wardrobe and chest for her clothes, and 2 nice shelf bookcases. Honestly, it's freaking awesome. Like, it's like they have a bunch of static backgrounds, but the way they do it with the seamless transition between them, it makes it as soon as you don't really stop at some part like I do here, it really feels like it just constantly moving, like, basically. So she's not gonna play guitar, damn. That's a shame. And they knew what they were doing, obviously. I bet she's like, it was some card or perhaps she was a servant there, but a ton of people just burned their money on her. For 2D PNG, like, basically just pure insanity. It was furnished with large bed, her beloved mahogany desk, a wardrobe and a chest for her clothes, and 2 nice shelf bookcases. It was the extent of what she had brought from home. Alright, so she used to live in a different place, huh? Her entire life of 16 years reduced to this. Well, I remember showing you that one from for the from the spin-off, and but I can't say much about Aoko and Tsukihime, because it's not like you get to see her much in the prologue. Just one flashback and that's it. The only thing it's telling me that she's a magician, that besides her having the older sister, and that she's gonna make it a life out of it. I mean, from the events that is gonna happen in the future. In Mahoyo. Her entire life of 16 years she used to this. She tells about the next room down for her own purposes. Is my girl practicing the magic there? Like what?
そうだ。アリスにもらった見張
I
りと
should check on
壊れて
the
ないかチェッ
which
ク
I
しな
got
いと。
from Alice. From Alice. She get to see if the project she had been working on all night had been born through it. The study next door served as a proof of the life she had been living for the last year, and how different that life was from the one she had lived before. I knew it. It's gotta be the place where she's practicing the magic. It was not a room for the person she had been. It was a room for the person she would also, I just realized it, but is Aoko actually 50 years old in Natsuki email. Like, is she really that old there? I thought she's like in her 30s. It was like. Oh my god, just aged that well. It was room for the person she would eventually become. A place of solitude that only she could enter. Or so she thought.
うわ、壊れてるどころか跡形もなく消え去ってる。
Ah, I see, so...
やっぱ自己流アレンジはまだ早かったか。
It says her
いいわ
magic
よ。笑いなさいよ、コマ撮り。
is postponing her age, or she kinda has some partial immortality going for her. Gotta be something between these two. Like, oh, not only did it break, it vanished without a trace. Looks like I have still got a long way to go. Go ahead, laugh it up, Robin. Who's the Robin? Who the hell is Robin? Ah, it's a bird. Yo, I think it would be pretty fun. Like, I didn't expect you to have anything left in Mahoyo that you haven't checked out, but I think it even makes it better that we can go through all the extras together with you for the first time. The noisy neighbor that had intruded upon her sanctuary flew away. While not exceptionally talented, Aoko didn't lack effort and was not afraid to fail. One could have almost mistaken her approach for optimism. Dang, they even have something akin to the animation for him, or at least something that comes off as the one for opening the door to the wardrobe. Like, she changed out of her uniform and returned to the first floor. Down the stairs, she opened the door to the east wing, into the corridor as dark as a cellar. The absence of windows meant it was pitch black without the lights on, so she flicked the switch and entered the nearby doorway. Are we even gonna see Arisu tonight or not? That's what I'm wondering about.
電気のない生活か。想像したくないな。
Life without electricity. Yeah, my man. I just wanna see her at least for the first time, even if it's gonna be some brief scene. It would be a bit of a strange if I didn't get to see her on the second stream. Like, it's but she's supposed to be it is from my impression she's supposed to be like a protagonist. A better word would be a later antagonist. I don't even want to imagine it. I'm happy to her idea to update the drawing room. The walls were decorated with extravagant patterns. And around the room were large, majestic sofas. Luxurious Persian rug. I missed it all. Was a 30-inch television that seemed completely out of a place. Yo, that's like... it literally looks like the TV I had in my childhood. It's so massive. And that thing almost fault on me. And was like 2 or 3. I stood looking over the other furniture like the imperious no clothes. The mansion owner would have rather done with it, without it. But to a commoner like Aoko, it was an essential commodity. A commoner? I was under the assumption that her family is filthy rich. But I guess it's not. They had a photo where its presence at first, but eventually came into an agreement and now mutually enjoyed this modern comfort.
なんだ、人のことは言えない
Yes,
か。
I want to talk.
うちも案外時代錯誤な家だっ
I
た。
came from a pretty traditional household myself. That's some nice sweater there. Now in somewhat a pleasant mood, she decided to brew some tea. She boiled some water in the kitchen, prepared a teapot, and made herself some black tea. View. With a flop, she sank into the sofa. She took a sip of her tea, then another. I really like that we have the shots like this one here. They look pretty stylish, at least to me. Yeah. I could tell that they gave it all with the heads. I can't even imagine just how much money went into the game. It's absolutely wild that they decided to go with it. I think my jaw dropped when yesterday I went to the title screen for the first time and went to the gallery, and they had like 21 page for the CGI assets. Like, what the other VN we have that has 21 pages for the CGI? So it's just absolutely crazy. Like, looked by the ticking of the clock, she took a first sip as she pondered how to spend her afternoon. Well, maybe Tsukihime has something akin to that. I could imagine. The sofa almost seemed to be inviting her, and she sank even further into its comforting embrace. Oh, it's we finally gonna see the eyes, like, aren't we? Oblilia opened her eyes as she lifted her body up from the cushions. Oh, hey there. This was no dream or delusion. I like your design. I like your design idea. At some point, the girl had sit down across from her. At least a bit surprised, she reached for her teacup. But the tea within it gone completely cold.
寝てた。
Did I doze off? She asked the question to the girl on the other side of the table. I bet interactions with Shouryuu gonna be just as much hilarious as the ones with Aoko, like. But they're gonna be more on the weird side.
ええ
Yes. The girl answered without lifting her gaze. When silent, she could have been mistaken for a beautiful doll. The girl sitting on the opposite sofa was reading an old book. She had delicate limbs and a pale white skin. Not a hint of humanity emanated from her melancholical or is it just a description or there's more to it? She had darker hair than Aoko. Is she some homunculus or what? In her icy eyes were focused on the pages in front of her, but I kinda doubt it. That she's a homunculus. The clothes resembled that of a nun, but were actually her school uniform. In Aoko's humble opinion, the gloominess suited her. She worked something like out of a painting. There was something unreal about her, as if she were frozen in a time. The white of her gently arched neck was so lovely that even Aoko found herself enchanted by it. The girl was one of the haunted house residents. With her hair, it really looks like a haunted house. Her name was Kuonji, and she was at the same age as Aoko.
私どれくらい寝てた
How long I was asleep?
1時間と少し
At least an hour.
ここで眠ると風邪ひくわよ
I called if you keep sleeping here. I also answered indifferently, not that it bothered her. Not that it bothered Aoko, who was now used to it. She looked at the clock on the wall and saw that it was already 7. It's only 7. I thought it's almost the night already. She had been asleep for 2 hours. The day had been a rough one for her, and she had slept a little the night before. So it was no surprise that she had dozed off for as long as she had.
起こしてくれてもよかったのに
You could have woken me up.
せっかくの紅茶が冷めちゃったじゃない
Also, it's kinda interesting that Mahoyo starts in a similar way to the Fate. I didn't really read Fate far back then when I tried out the game myself, but I remember that those girls haven't slept much in the prologue. It was kinda pissed. Now my tea is called. I think it's a classic Nasu. I meant the prologue from Fate. I mean the Stay Night. The OG Fate.
私が来た時はもう冷めてたわ
It was already cold by the time I got here.
でしょうね行ってみただけよ
I'm sure it was. I'm just saying. Aoko drank down the rest of the cold tea in one gulp. In poorly heated Kuonji mansion. It's Aisu's mansion, so it's not Aoko's mansion. Damn, that's quite a twist. Yeah, okay, it's kind of giving me more of the Tosaka vibes. While Aisu is just her own thing. In the poorly heated Kuonji mansion, that was more than enough to clear her heart and wake up.
こうなるとフォートナム&メイソンも何もないわね。
Alright, so she is the one who owns the mansion, apparently. I think quite a bit tasty, even the expensive kind from Britain.
おかえりアリス。玉の贅沢もあんた抜きじゃ閉まらないってことかしら。
Taylor seems determined to keep me from even the acquisition luxury without you.
今日は薬日か天中節か。
What is it
ちょっ
about
と早いけ
today?
ど、お参りってのも十分ありかもね。
Is it just my luck or what? At the same time, due to a temple visit just to be safe. Aoko shrugged her shoulders of resigning herself to her fate.
それで何があったの？
Something happened? After 2 years together, they knew each other quite well. Aoko had one way of asking questions, and Aisu had another. Aisu asked without raising her heart, and Aoko gave her the details.
まず謝らなくちゃいけない。
I should start by apologizing.
昨日徹夜で完成させ
The
た例
project
の
I
あ
was
れ、
working on
意味がなくなっちゃった
all
の
night
よ。
was a total failure.
ちょっと目を離した隙に沸騰
Only
しすぎ
took
て
my
壊れ
eyes
ちゃったみ
off
たい。
it for a second, but I think it boiled over and fell apart. What was she doing there? That it boiled over. I hope it's not. I hope it's not cooking. Because we had enough of Kana with the Isekai.
そうならないよう循環のコードを 2,3 本外したり縫合したりしたんだけど。
Though I will add that I shuffled the circulation codes as a precaution. Yeah, it's crazy. Not exactly 3 months, but definitely more than the 2 months. Like, it's, geez, it was 100 hours long playthrough, like them. I could try to laugh it off as it was someone else's problem.
どういうこと？
And
今朝休養が入って学校に呼び出し受けたの。そこで転入生の世話を押し付けられて1日が無残にも消費されちゃって、帰ってきたら跡形もなく消えてました。
but I think I felt the favorite quarter for this year for good. Is the Isekai. Like, I'm really not gonna play any other game from them for this year, that's for sure. Something came up this morning and I was called into school. They made me show this dance with student around and it took up my whole day. By the time I got back, it had vanished without a trace.
怒る？
You're not mad, are you?
別に青子の器物破損にいちいち怒っていたら
Is she like a
一生分の
human
口論
or
をすることになるでしょ。
something like that? If I got mad every time you broke something, there would be no end to the fighting. Damn, when I think about it's probably gonna take us a while to go from Sakura Moya. Because from what I know, it's even longer than the Isekai. Which quote supposed to be around 40 to 50 hours. But not really.
代用品はあ
I
るか
have more
ら
materials, so
また
you can
一から
just
始めれば
start
いいわ。
over.
それより怒ってるのはあなたの方じゃないの？
However, aren't you really the one who is angry?
うん。
Oh. Man, I really like your faces. I also was very much on the point today. It was true that despite outward appearances, Aoko was seizing with frustration. That aside,
この転入生っていうのがひど
that's
くずれてて
I
ね。
mentioned earlier was a real piece of work. Might you just almost just jumped out of the window, thinking that it's a normal way to go to the work.
すごい山奥で暮らしてたらしくて、こっちの常
Has
識が
been
通
living
じない
deep
ん
in
だ
the
から。
mountains and
三毛以下いって言葉があるけど、
there are common
あれっ
sense.
て本当のことなのね。
I
ア
know
リス
people say that the mountains are like an entirely different world, but I had no idea how true it was, so. I used to raise your heart in response to hearing your name. But Aoko kept going on before. I think this the shot here might be the thumbnail. Like, but Aoko kept going on before she could get a word in edgewise. Aoko, after all, expected no sympathy in the first place.
初対面から尺に触るやつだったけど、教室を案内した
We
時なん
didn't
か
get
失
along
神し
well
そうに
from
な
the
った
start,
わ。
but it really took a turn for the worse when I took him to a classroom.
そいつ、教室で教師と1対1で授業を受けるもんだと
He
思って
apparently
たら
thought
し
it
いの。
was a place where you would get a one-on-one
それはそれで
tutoring.
まだ流せる。
That's not
許容
at
範囲
all.
あの程度の冗談は。
I mean, you're never gonna believe this.
で、私が簡潔かつ丁寧に教室の何たるかを
What do
教
you think
え
he
た後
asked
で、
when I politely
そいつ
explained
なんて言った
what
と
the
思
classroom
う？
is to him?
それで青崎、他の教室は何に使うんだ？
He goes, he goes, but then what are the other classrooms for? So, my duty just assigned all your explanation for just a singular classroom and didn't make any connection whatsoever with the other classrooms around. Like, dang.
ですって。
Unbelievable, right?
教室に他も何もないでしょ？
I think it's gonna be even more amusing to read from his perspective. Where his club, like? Matut needs one, like, to bonk Aoko and Arisu when they're gonna get mean with him. Justice for the caveman. I mean, a classroom is a classroom.
なんていうか、そいつは少しでも説明を怠るとそのままで納得しちゃうのよ。
And no matter how awake or unhelpful anything I said was, you just kept nodding.
何も疑問に思わないというか、想像力が欠如してるっていうか、
It's like he was
想
just
像することに慣れてないっていうか。
taking everything at face value. I don't know if he just lacks an imagination or never uses it.
まあ、一度言ったことはちゃんと分かってるっぽいから、バカってわけじゃないんだ
He
け
at
ど。
least seemed to grasp most of what I told him the first time around. So suppose he's not a complete idiot. Nah, my dude is not an idiot. He's just really, really different. A caveman, like we just said.
あなたが人を批評するのは珍しいわね。そういうダメな人、気にするたち
It's
だ
sad
った
to
の。
see you so judgmental. Is it really worth getting worked up over someone like that?
みじんたりとも気にしないわよ。けど、
I couldn't care less
明日
about
から
him.
どんな間違いをしでかすのか、
Yeah,
ちょっと
sure.
心配な
I'm
だ
just
け。
worried. I'm just worried he will screw up somehow. That's just some big tsundere there. What she was really worried about was having to clean up that mess when it happened. That had to be it. If not, it would mean she had no real idea why she could not get him out of his head. Oh, it's a tipo. Because I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be her heart.
とにかく変なやつなの。案外アリスと気が合うかも。
Well, he was weird, alright. You two would probably hit it off, right? Or maybe not.
三門異界はいい言葉ね。
Another world in the mountains doesn't sound so bad. I'm looking forward to the first meeting between these two. Hyo and Soujuurou. But from your eyes, it was clear that the question of either they would get along was relevant, given that they would never meet in the first place. Never say never. I could give an uncommittal response.
ところでアリス、さっきから何読んでるの？
Anyway, what have you been reading?
霊的進化論の二次創作。スピリチュアルダイアリのまがいも
A
の。
book about spiritual evolution based on the spiritual diary. My impression so far is that the magic in Mahoyo is gonna be more on a bit more on the technical side in comparison to Fate. Like there are a lot of exposition on the magic in Fate, but no. I'm just kinda getting this vibe so far from the Mahoyo.
ああ、スウェーデンボリー。そんなの今更読んでも仕方ないんじゃない？
Or maybe I'm completely off with this guess of mine. Swedenborg, huh? Is that really worth reading again?
新書なら退屈だけど、これは偽書だから。
Okay, so there are gonna be some action, but mostly it's the soul. But I think I'm completely fine with it. Because I have a bunch of fun with the characters so far, and not to mention that the game looks awesome. It's almost like we are watching the anime with Yahia. I wouldn't bother if it was if it were the original, but this is a knockoff.
彼の欠点と長所を劇的に褒め上げている。よくできた冒険小説のようよ。
It actually
立ちはだかる秘密組
exaggerates
織
the
の名前
pros
が
and
カン
cons
ト
of
とか
a
気が利いている
Schwittenberg
わ。
style, and it's like a well-written adventure. Even the secret organization Kanto standing in his way was a nice addition. Is it some foreshadowing? Nah, I don't think it's gonna be a foreshadowing.
筆跡はあなたのおじいさんのものだけど。
The writing of the notes in the margin belongs to your grandfather, by the way.
へえ、あの人そういう趣味まであったん
Huh?
だ。
I had no
割と
idea
ユー
he
モア
was
があったの
into
ね。
that sort of a thing.
惜しい人を亡くしたわ。
He had a great sense of humor. I really miss him. Aoko seemed nostalgic over her now deceased grandfather.
あなたのおじいさん、夏に頼りを
He
くれ
just
たけど。
contacted you this last summer, didn't he?
よしてよ、死んだものと考えたいのに。
Do we really have to go there? Right? Can't that stay that? Aoko sighed and laid back on the sofa. The soft cushions caved in under her weight.
話は戻るけど、
As I was saying, I also shot a glance at Aoko. By the sounds now. Your body buried in the sofa, you might as still as a corpse. It was clear Aoko had tuned out of the conversation. You should gotta hit you with the book. I also silently chastised you with a look. Or maybe not. The more she thought about it, the less important the events of the day seemed to become. If she just ignored it, so the conversation would end there. They would eventually get up and leave today's mistake and resolve for another day. However, this is the kind of a person Aoko Ozaki was.
いいわよ。何？
Yeah, what is it? She asked to see lying down.
今日できなかったのは
It's upsetting that
少し
you
痛い
you
わね。
failed today.
だから反省してるって。
Like I said, I'm thinking
学校
about
優
it.
先は一人前になっ
I
て
need
か
to
ら。
focus on becoming a
でしょ
full-fledged mage, but thinking about a school. I know that.
ならいいけど。
I hope you do. But why she wants to become a mage? Is it because of her grandfather, or there's some stuff coming up later on they would have to deal with? Especially if we consider that she is apparently a commoner, like not from some Pentich. So I mean, you might be right. It's the lineage. I hope you do. The coldness in her voice, не так, как наша хотів. She knew what I also wanted to say, but yeah, if we're gonna start diving into Nasuverses, we won't eat anything. Just gonna keep rambling about the Nasuverse. So let's just enjoy Mahoyo for what it is. She knew better than anyone, which is quite a lot, to say the least. The veneer she wore for school was different than the way she lived at home. Well, it could be called hiding in plain sight. I also thought it was silly. And what the silence told her was,
覚悟を決めろって言いたいのよ
make
ね。
up your mind
あんたは
already. I know. Today's failure was not a colossal one. She had just happened to upset the delicate balance between her home and school lives, choosing one at the expense of the other. Yet, that careless mistake was a clear sign of Aoka's lack of commitment. So, what I'm getting from this is, and taking into account the stuff I saw Aoka thinking about before, she's not really much into the idea of being a magician. And she just wants to live a normal life instead.
アリスは関係ない。これは
Even if she
私
goes
が
with
私で
it.
決めなくちゃいけないこと。
This doesn't concern us. It's my decision to make. She had only known for sure for the last year and a half. But she had the hunch for as long as she could remember. Make the choice and the day will come. It was a little wonder that her morals and coin size had been stripped away. Aoka pushed herself back up. Also, it's kinda fitting that if both of them are kinda meaningless. From what we know, all the measures in the fate, I mean, in the Nasuverse, just a bunch of pick in the assholes. Especially the ones with the lineage. It was she was met by a so-called beauty and wordless gaze.
オッケー、ハリス。来週中に決着をつけよう。
Okay, Iris, we can do it next week.
それでいいんでしょ
That work for you?
ええ。青子がいいなら。
As long as it works for you. Aoka could not help but shake her head, feeling like she was hearing something similar for the second time that day. Even the comfort of her own, she's really finding too similar to Soujuurou. She couldn't banish thoughts of that country boy from her mind.
じゃあ、下準備はよろしくね。私まだできないし。
I'll let you set it up then. That's still beyond my abilities.
場所は例の公園でいい？
Should we do it at that park?
妥当な線ね。
Sure.
あ、
The line there
で
is
も
suitable
もう一件の方
enough.
は
But what about that other thing?
そっちの方が急務じゃない？
Isn't that a more urgent concern?
時と場合、
It depends on the
森に
conditions.
変化があれば
I'll
教え
let you
るわ。
know if there are any changes to the words. After that brief exchange, I also returned her attention to the book on her lap. Chapters was over. Now they could return to their normal relationship as roommates. Aoko grabbed the remote and turned on the TV. Since Ayuso was busy reading, Aoko decided to tune in to a variety show that had already started. Ayuso started to speak but suddenly cut herself off. One of her delicate hands raised to her mouth. She would always cut herself off the second she realized she was about to say something trivial. Sometimes her self-restraint would hit too late and she would make a gesture like the one she was making now. It occurred to Aoko that the R sound her cute little roommate made just now was different than the one she built it in time past. I just find it that she's calling her little roommate like. Because I was under the impression that Ayuso might be the older one between them. But maybe she's not.
何？
What is that? Aoko turned down the volume on the TV. Her intense eyes lit up like those of a mischievous cat.
どうということはないんだけど。
It's nothing really bad.
ないんだけど？
But what? I also looked way bashfully, not knowing if she would bring it up or not. It was time like this that her expression carried a real warmth and surprising charm. If you could see her in this moment, Ayuso's father would have to admit that her name suited her perfectly.
今日、帰ってくるときおかしなものを見て、誰かに話そうと思ってい
It's
た
just
んだ
that
け
I
ど。
saw something strange in my way home and I wanted to tell someone about it. So I assume that her father is that, like, just like Aoko's grandfather. But she means the strange here. Aoko nodded, beckoning her to continue.
つまらない。本当に意味のないことよ。
It's silly, really.
けど、どう考え
But I
ても
just
そん
can't
なこ
make
と
a
をする
sense of
理由
it,
がわから
no
な
matter
い。
how much you think about it.
青子、
Okay.
人
Do you
間
have
ぐ
any
ら
idea
いの
why
大きな猫が
human-sized cat?
ひょこひょこ出前をする理由ってわかる？
Yo! It was a Soujuurou, like, I know that it's Soujuurou for sure, because they were talking about him being shoot before in the kitchen, like, it's gotta be him. Would be riding around town, delivering meals to people. So he's not even studying around and trying to make people go to the restaurant or like a cafe. But goes around and deliver stuff. Yeah, that's pretty rough, like, in the freaking mascot suit. For a second, Aoko thought Ayuso was trying and falling miserably to make a joke again. I just imagine myself going in a mascot suit around with the crazy kid we have there outside. I'll probably die. Like, I don't think that about anyone really. But she seemed completely serious. Even if Aizo's sense of humor felt flat or for Aoko, the story already sounded more fanciful than Aizo's usual attempt at jokes. She's really glaring at him. Aoko concluded that her roommate was talking about something she had actually seen.
その話には2つぐらい信じがたい
I
部
haven't
分
thought
があるけ
about
ど
that.
一つずつ論破していい？
Maybe we should break it down.
いいの。私もからくりぐらいは思いつくから。
Let's not. Even I can think of a few mundane explanations.
ただ
I'm
理
just
由がわ
asking
からないから聞いてるの。
because I can figure out why
わ
somebody
ざわ
would
ざ
do
精
that.
巧な猫のぬいぐるみを着て
Maybe it's as simple as
出前の
someone
てんやもの
possessing
を
up
届けに行くことって
and finally crafted a cat
そん
suit
な
to
に
deliver
簡単か
food
し
for
ら
a restaurant. That's only precise explanation. Like
難易度以前にそれをやる人間の常
I'm
識
more
性
worried
を疑
about
うけど
the
ね。
person doing it
私は
than the reasons personally. I also noted attentively at your words.
まあ世の中いろいろあるから
But whatever does it for
私たち
them,
みた
I
いなの
guess
もいれば
the world
下
with
界か
people
ら
like
遮断
us
され
and
た山奥で暮らしていたやつまで
weirdos that
10人トイレ
live
よ。
like a mountain hermits is not telling what kind of freaks are out there.
私だったら見かけたら声かけて
Possibly would
理由を
have
尋
just
ね
gone
ただろう
up
け
to
ど
them and asked them what they were doing. I also guess I drifted at that. I wonder if Ariusa was just observing him from the sidewalk and following him around. Because it's a freaking man in a cat suit.
ふーん暮れゆく住宅街に
They
さ
were
ま
cat
よい
hiding
出
for
前猫
neighborhoods in the evening.
背景が夕焼けだったらファンタジーだったでしょうに。
Sounds like something straight out of a fantasy story.
で今日の夕飯どうする？せっかく話が出たし
Hey,
私らも
what should
て
we
んや
do
もの
for
にしよう
dinner
か。
tonight? Speaking of delivery, maybe we should order in. Aoko loved getting takeout and her face glowed. That's another tip there. Her face glowed as she spoke. They had no hard rules for dinner, but if one of them was in the mood to cook, they made a point to make enough for two. At the very worst, they spent entire weeks without a dinner, but the two of them agreed that this was the system that worked best for them. Either they found cooking to be too much effort or simply liked ordering out. Nights like this one were a common occurrence, much to the chagrin of the residents of Misaki town. They went to the mansion meant coming all the way up to the top of this hill. The source of there is adamant.
時間は8時前。ギリギリセーフね。私今月がいいな。
Oh crap!
あそこの月見そば最近ご無沙汰だったし。
Now I see how it's gonna go like. We're gonna have Soujuurou coming all the way here in the damn cat suit and it's probably gonna be rough for my dude. I haven't had I'm really in the mood for the Kongitsu tonight. I haven't had a Tsukimi soba in ages. I had student Council President laid out a stack of takeout menus like she might from the deck of her cards and excitedly scanned for anything that stood out. I also casually responded without spraying so much as a glance.
悪いけど私夕飯済んでるの。
Ah, so we're not getting to see Soujuurou going inside the haunted house. My dude life is gonna be spared for the another time. Maybe. Sorry, but I've already had dinner. Huh? I like how it literally goes to a different palette, like. But with this worse, Aoko for us. All deliveries required a minimum of 2 items, so she was out of luck without an accomplice. Cruel Society had decided it couldn't be bothered to deliver to a princess, only ordered a single serving for food. Incidentally, to counteract orders from the Hilltop mansion, the restaurants had declared. Whoa, that's really far from the civilization they live there. Like, the minimum number of orders will be free, such in the next year, and that's where Soujuurou perhaps comes in the clutch. That's all in there. But they might get him to live with them. It looks much better than my place as well, so you're not the only one there, bro. Like, the place looks really neat. Like, if it was also close to this, I think it would be literally the paradise. Aoko and Arisu were still in the dark to this finish changing the direction.
この裏切り者
Traitor. Are they playing cards?
だから帰ってくるのが遅かったのね
Is that why you were later getting back?
帰宅部学校までバス徒歩込みで片道20分のあんたがなんで5時以降に帰ってくんのか考えるべきだったわ
Never mind. Between the bus ride and the walk, the trip home takes only 20 minutes. I should have known something was up when you didn't get home before 5 o'clock. But really, it takes only 20 minutes to get there. Like, what the heck? From the looks of it, I assume that it might take a damn hour to get there. Just how far it looks from the perspective they have shown before. Unfortunately for Aoko, she had been too out of it to even remember that she was the one who had fallen asleep.
ひどい女そういう時は残された一人のためにお土産買ってくるのが暗黙の了解だったのに
Talk about the ice cream. I thought it was clear that if either of us got food, it would bring enough home for the other person.
私だってこの前の外食の時はアリスの分も買ってきたじゃない
Didn't I bring back something for you when I ate out last time? It was unknown how serious Aoko was being, but she was visibly angry. She had already woken up hungry this morning, and from the time she was called into school until now, she had consumed nothing but tea. It was a small miracle that her stomach was not growling. My girl was lying on the life support. She knew it was her own fault, but she persisted wanting to get revenge on Arisu for scolding her earlier.
この前ってあれのこと
By last time you mean
あなたが都心に出向いた時夕食にお寿司を食べてきたのに
the city and
お
ate
土産は
sushi
な
but
ぜか
only
コ
came
ン
back
ビニ
with
エン
a
ススト
plastic
アの
bag
ビニール袋だ
full
った
of
って話
convenience store food. That time. And she took it. She took it by the hair. Like. Aoko had kicked a hornet's nest.
何よ 変わってこないよりはマシでしょ。
So what? It was better than nothing, wasn't it?
真実は時に隠蔽すべきね。
There are times when it'd be better off saying nothing at all. As society gaze appears right through her. I had certainly crossed the line by going on about how the sushi circled around the descent while I also ate her convenience store meal. But the new things fascinated her and she couldn't contain her curiosity towards the conveyor belt sushi shops that started popping up at the time. They were nothing short of miraculous. It's kind of funny, but Aoko here with this with the shirt on her kind of looks similar to how she looks in Tsukihime. When honesty can be seen even in the right circumstances.
わかった。わかりました。じゃあ今回のは前のと帳消しってことでいいわね。
Fine, fine, I get it. Does this at least mean we are even now? I also went back to her book without so much as recognizing the question. The fact that she didn't confirm it made Aoko anxious.
仕方ない。
Well,
今日は薬味だ
that
し、
has been a total
おとなし
disaster.
く台所に立って料理の腕を磨くとしま
I
しょ
guess I
う。
will just sweep up something in the kitchen. She stood up, announcing her intent to one in particular.
聞き忘れてた。
I almost forgot to
アリ
ask.
ス、どこで夕食済ませた
Where
の？
did you end up eating anyway? I saw hand Ross on her current page. She suddenly shut the book she was reading and stood up, as if with wits and she walked across the drawing room with her book in hand. When she reached the door, she stopped and turned toward Aoko.
聞きたい。
Do you want to know?
まあ、なんとなく。
Sure. Aoko nodded timidly. Caught by eyes suddenly bigger. I also continued in her matter-of-fact way.
その猫が余ったメニューをくれたのよ。
Wow, that's that's pretty kind of Soujuurou. Like, the cat gave me one of his leftover deliveries. And with that brief response, she left the room. Oh, and it's literally the end of the first chapter. Do you think we should call it a day here and continue with the second chapter the next time? Or just keep reading? Alright, so let's stop here. I hope the next time we're gonna get to see the actual meeting between Aiso and Soujuurou, or perhaps more about his day-to-day life, because near the end of the chapter we didn't get to see the guy much. But anyway, thanks everyone for watching this, and till the next time.